Woo! Woo! Guys, look at us coming up in the world, coming up in these YouTube streets. Look at young brother Tunde flexing on that gorgeous intro. Did y'all like that? That looked jazzy. Yes. Welcome, everybody. It's a Tuesday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. And of course, I'm always so happy and excited to see all y'all's very specific smiling faces up in the place. I see everybody already checking in early. Y'all got in here early today. What's up, Anna Hart? What's up, Polly Gannon? What's up, Afraid Now? What's up, Luke Kang? What's up, Big Teal? What's up, Prince of Judah 79? I see y'all in the house. And welcome to all y'all who may not be one of our regulars. If you're a newcomer, hello, nice to see you. Welcome. Take your shoes off, but if your feet stink, put your shoes back on, please, and thank you. But please, hit subscribe. If you have not already subscribed to our channel, please do so, guys. We are so close to hitting 2,000 subs. And I know, that's still little time. But we little time presently. We're going to be big time coming up shortly. And the way y'all can help us to get big time is to hit that subscribe button if it's not too much trouble. And of course, please follow us on all the social media platforms, the Facebooks, the Twitters. Oh, we jazzy. We got Instagram now. Molly made us a TikTok so we can be hip with the kids, so we can be fluent with the youth. Yes. So just follow us, show us support. Everybody that is already here already shows us a tremendous amount of love and support. So I want to thank you all again for showing up. And today's program is not so much unlike Friday's program. Why? Because the United States under President Joe Biden, but this is just the latest iteration of how the U.S. overall sucks foreign policy wise, really dealing with most places. But the deal with Palestine and Israel's continued aggressions towards Palestine is quite frankly unacceptable. And the hypocrisy revealed itself yet again with how America handles Israel with very kid gloves and let Israel basically bomb Gaza into submission. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to take a look at some of the actions, again, y'all, because people have been consistently out in the streets for free Palestine, to save Palestine. Today in Palestine, there was a strike. Workers in stores closed up. People took to the streets to protest the murders of now hundreds of Palestinians and dozens of Palestinian children at the end of Israelis' missiles. So we'll get into that. But guys, something else we're going to get into towards the latter part of the program. First of all, we do have an update for you about our comrade, Chuck Modiano, who had his Twitter account suspended. There's an update there. You could probably figure out what it is, but if you can't, that's a teaser. Stay tuned. We'll tell you what happened with Chuck's Twitter account coming up a little bit later in the show, but we'll also get into how it is 2021. Next year is 2022. It is an election year. The GOP aims to reclaim the House at minimum. Talks about the GOP being in self-destructive mode. I mean, we could take or leave that. However, what the party leadership understands is that if you want to re-engage conservatives around issues and not specifically around Trump and the stolen election, the big lie, that nigga's crazy. If you want to engage the voters on something not Trump, right? Border security, right? Immigration, border security, and abortion. So the Supreme Court, the majority controlled by conservative Supreme Court, has elected to hear a case pertaining to abortion relating to a Mississippi state law. And when digging a little bit into this, I was very confused as to why Mississippi specifically is so against women taking their health into their own hands, considering how poor job Mississippi specifically does in caring for children. Let me give y'all a hint. Infant mortality rate, high as fuck in Mississippi. Levels of child poverty, high as fuck in Mississippi. So the fact that Mississippi, which by the way only has one abortion clinic open in the entire state, the fact that they want to make it damn near impossible for their residents, women residents, to get an abortion is a little bit of a head scratcher, because they don't seem to give a shit about the kids once they are actually born. So we'll get into all that. But the first thing I want to do, what's up, Rain the Sud? What's up, Courtney the SLP Pimp C up in the building? What's up, Susan? I love to see y'all. I love to see y'all's names and faces up in here, man. What's up, Valley Girls? You new. I don't know you, but welcome. We are a welcoming community here, as long as you about the shits. If you are not about the shits, this may not be the place for you. Speaking about being about the shits, y'all, hold on, let me get to my doc. I want us to take a look at some of these actions around the world in support of Palestine, right? There's an action plan at the Israeli consulate here in DC tomorrow. Actually, if you give me a second, I can tell you some information about that. Excuse me. Shout out to the Good Trouble Co-op, the Good Trouble Cooperative. They posted that, and I shared that on my social media. So where's Talisha Conklin? Talisha Conklin hit me up on Twitter. She said, Kim, are you going to the protest tomorrow on Thursday? And I said, probably not. And the reason why I probably won't be at the protest is because I don't know if anybody will go with me to the protest. Who's coming with me? The protest, 3 p.m. at the Israeli embassy located at 3514 International Drive Northwest in DC. Actually, that is today. That was today. That is happening, I'm assuming right now. Today, the 18th? It is the 18th. So this is happening actually right now. And not only have actions happening today, they have been happening consistently for the past couple of weeks. So what we're about to see is a compilation, a mashup of scenes from different cities, starting firstly where Brooklyn at. Bay Ridge, Brooklyn came out big for Palestine, as I'm sure you all can assume. Left Voice is credited with this first video, so I'm gonna run it down. So first video, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, shot by Left Voice. Second video, London, shot by Khadija Nadaya. Nadayes, I hope I'm saying her name correctly. She's a multimedia journalist for the BBC in London. And then the third video we're going to see is in Kuwait. And if there's a fourth video, Tunde, did you get the fourth video by any chance? The fourth video is going to be a scenes from the strike for Palestine that I told you that was happening today throughout Gaza, where shops closed up, people walked off the job and took to the streets to definitely lift their voices about the atrocities that are being committed right now by Israel upon the Palestinian people, and really by the United States. I mean, these are all missiles and bombs, not only that we sold to Israel more than likely, but that we basically gave Israel the money to buy the fucking bombs, man. You guys know this. Israel is the biggest recipient of foreign aid from the United States. We don't give no more money than nobody else, more than Israel. And Israel ain't poor. But you know who's poor? Americans. And it's amazing to me. Anyway, hold on. Fuck that. Hold on. Let me slow down. Let's take a look at some of these action scenes around the world. Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, London, Kuwait, and lastly, we're going to end up in Gaza. So today, can we take a look at that, please? Palestine will be free. To the sea. Palestine will be free. There is only one solution. Intifada revolution. There is only one solution. Intifada revolution. Intifada revolution. Intifada, intifada.
revolution. Resistance is justified when Palestine is occupied. Resistance is justified when Palestine is occupied. It's justified when Palestine is occupied.
Incredible scenes there, y'all, from around the world. That last scene we just saw was in Gaza, because if you follow the hashtag strike for Palestine, that should have been a global strike for Palestine. Today, whatever day that they decide to put it together, hashtag strike for Palestine. Israel needs to understand that this is not acceptable. This is not going to work. And the fact that Israel, at least some of the interviews that I've seen with members of the IDF, and again, I've seen all of this like sort of on mainstream outlets, so it's very Israel friendly. Hold on. Wait, before I get into that, there's one more action I wanted to show you guys, and it is probably like it was one of the most inspiring ones that I happened to catch. And it is part of a report by Press TV, which I believe is the Iranian news outlet. I mean, how often do we get the Iranian perspective? I, quite frankly, am interested in the Iranian perspective. I'm sure the Iranians have a lot of things from their perspective and from their experience that I think the rest of us could find pretty valuable. But this report done by Max Civilli, whose name sounds really familiar, and I don't know why. But anyway, I didn't recognize his voice. Check out this package, you guys. He's reporting from Rome, and Italian port workers refuse to load an arms shipment destined for Israel. How fucking radical is that? Like, no, nigga, we see that all these guns and ammunitions and munitions is headed to Israel to shoot at Palestinian people. How about them joints don't get loaded on the boat? How about that? I love it. Revolutionary. Tunde, if we could please check out that A2 package, y'all. This is from Press TV. Check it out.
Workers from the Italian-based union USB operating at the port of Livorno in northern Tuscany have planned to refuse to load a shipment of arms after discovering the load was headed to Israel. The shipment included explosives and precision-guided munitions destined for the port city of Ashdod in southern Israel. In a note, the USB union has explained that dock workers took the decision to stop loading the shipment, fearing the weapons would end up killing the innocent Palestinians already hit by deadly attacks over the past days, which caused hundreds of civilian victims, including women and children.
It's not right that our work is instrumental to the death of Palestinians. That's why we refuse to load the ship. We don't want to be part of this injustice. We don't want to be accomplices to the massacre of Palestinian civilians. Furthermore, we have noticed that an increasing number of shipments transiting through our ports are loaded with weapons, and this is very dangerous for us workers and for the people residing around the ports.
Dock workers had been tipped off by an NGO named the Weapon Watch over the weapons they were supposed to load onto the Asiatic island, a vessel flying Singaporean flag docked at the port of Livorno. The Weapon Watch is an independent observatory on arms transfers through Italian ports. According to a representative of the observatory, the legal part of the arms business transiting through Italy is mirrored by a vast illegal trade in arms that fuels violence, atrocities and civil wars across the globe.
The truth is that these arms transfers are routine. Dock workers and the general population are now more aware of the direct consequences of these deadly loads, since the media are reporting on the bombardments over the Gaza Strip.
The NGO The Weapon Watch has urged the Italian government to consider suspending some or all Italian military exports to Israel. Rome has recently halted the sale of thousands of missiles to Saudi Arabia.
Interesting, y'all. Interesting report there from Press TV. Curious what you guys think about it. Mike, thank you so much for your super chat. That is so very kind and generous of you. Who else? What's up? Chuck Diesel, thank you so much for refereeing the chat. I don't know what you're doing in there, Chuck. Thank you for you telling people to like the program, which I do appreciate. Who else is up in here? Steely Steve is up in the building. Anna Hart is in the building. We got all our people in here today. Folks, so that's radical, right? The actions globally to support Palestine, absolutely brilliant and reassuring to see. But your boy, y'all's boy, that's y'all's boy, Joe Biden, y'all's boy. Y'all know y'all voted for Joe Biden. I know y'all got y'all Biden Harris yard sign still up. Joe Biden. Just to give you guys an indication as to where y'all think Joe Biden might be when it comes to the continued aggressions by Israel into Palestine, into Gaza, the continued killing and bombing of Palestinian civilians. I don't like the framing that like the national news does, and maybe I did it just earlier too when you talk about the children. Yes, it is horrific that I think over 60 children have been murdered, but these children need adults in their lives, right? So the Palestinian adults who have also been killed is no less tragic than the kids. Like all of these lives being needlessly stolen, and for what? Is something that we have to keep in mind. But your boy Joe Biden, back in 2016, Joe Biden, while running for president, made this statement. This clip is actually courtesy of CNN. This would be the B1 Tunde. If you had any question as to where you thought Joe Biden was going to end up on this situation, and I'm sure there are loads of clips that predate 2016 where Joe Biden is fawning, I'm sure, slobbering over Israel and making excuses for the barbaric way that the Israeli state treats Palestine. But this is from 2016. So just check out the enthusiasm that Uncle Joe has in this declaration in his support for Israel. Let's take that out today.
Were I a Jew, I would be a Zionist. And my father pointed out to me, I did not need to be a Jew to be a Zionist, for I am. Israel is essential to the security of Jews worldwide.
Kind of left a strange taste in your mouth, did it not? And there in that clip, Joe Biden, in a very small clip, it echoes a position that I don't seem to understand. And perhaps you all who are perhaps more learned and more informed than let me go back here to this here chat because I'm looking for answers straight up. Joe Biden says that the state of Israel is integral to the security of Jews. And if you guys remember back to our Friday show, the clip that we played, I believe it was from the Empire Files, that did some random street interviews with citizens of Israel, and the abject cruelty and just not give a fuck about people who are Arab or Muslim or it was so like cruel and macabre and like ghoulish, and it was scary, right? But here's my question. Why does Israel and the Zionists, the very zealous supporters of the state of Israel, this has nothing to do with Judaism. Oh, y'all, I don't even have to say this to y'all. This ain't no shots at Jews for being Jewish, right? We don't play in them games. There ain't no anti-Semitic shit here at all. But the state of Israel fucking sucks in terms of their foreign policy. Like, make no mistake about that. But why all the smoke for the Arabs? It was the Germans and Europeans who executed the Holocaust. It was the Russians who put the Jewish people in pogroms, funneled them into ghettos, would not allow them to rise above a certain social station. Why all the smoke for the Arabs? Like, what did Israel need to have beef with Germany? Like, you talking about go get your land back, shawty. Whole swaths of Europe exclusively for Jewish people. They need to go get that shit back. Leave Palestine the fuck alone. Go holler at Vladimir Putin in Russia. Be like, hey, we need all that 19th century back, chief. Like, what the fuck? Why these spammers? What did Palestine do besides just exist? This is why there's so much, I believe, Black solidarity, African solidarity with the Palestinian people, because African people and people who are descendants of Africans can see our whole situation in what the fuck is happening in Palestine, right? Like, how does Israel bombing the shit out of Palestine, how is that different than the Tulsa race riots, right? Like, how does that differ than the Wilmington, I hate to call it the Tulsa race riots. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean, man. I can't even go back and correct myself because y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. But anyway, y'all's boy, Joe Biden. So that's where you thought Joe Biden was. Well, Joe Biden apparently called Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone and asked him for a ceasefire. Tunde, if you could pop up B2 for me, please, y'all. As much as I hate to credit CNN, god damn it, I hate CNN so fucking bad. But god damn it, I found this CNN article to be informative. It contained some facts, or some reporting rather, that I was not 100% aware. So I was appreciative of it. So despite Joe Biden calling Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and asking for a ceasefire, can you please stop firing the missiles that we just sold you at Palestine? Can you not fire the shit that we just sent over to y'all? And I'm being a bit hyperbolic. And I don't like the way hyperbole and hyperbolic break down in different ways. Anyway, CNN is reporting that the Biden administration, apparently prior to Israel's most recent aggression into Gaza, had approved this sale, $735 million of missiles, of sharp as fuck missiles, the same missiles that the IDF gets on TV and talks to Richard Engel from NBC and brags about how precise their shit was and how it's supposed to minimize casualties. Nigga, if you don't get the whole fuck out of here with that bullshit, it's a fucking missile. Like, what you mean? You supposed to minimize casualties? What the point of the missile is casualties. Make it make sense. Who do you think you're talking to? Anyway, CNN reports that this sale was authorized at least by the White House prior to Israel's most recent aggression. This, I can't say authorized, y'all, because apparently, as some of you may know, the White House can apparently just sell arms to whoever the fuck. They just got to notify Congress, give Congress a little bit of heads up, a little bit of notification. And for certain countries, Israel being one of them, first of all, the review process that Congress has to review such arms sales like this one is typically 30 days. But with some countries, Israel being one of them, that review process gets cut in half. It's down to 14 or 15 days. So apparently, the Biden administration first notified Congress about this sale at the beginning of the month. So basically, that 14 review day period is damn near done. So I don't know which Democrats, if any, have raised this issue about this weapon sale, which apparently is going to go through. Recent events notwithstanding, genocide notwithstanding, the United States fully intends to sell $735 million worth of missiles to Israel. Now, I guess that's a profit, right? But it's amazing how the United States traffics like so much in death. Like Cuba exports doctors, America exports missiles. Like that just goes to show you what our priority is as a nation and where our moral character lies, or the government, the moral, I keep saying moral because I can't fucking talk. The moral character of the government of this whole nation is about death. It is not uncommon for the United States to support a genocide of a brown people, right? Because who does genocide better than us? Nazis was copying our shit. You feel me? Right? The Nazis was like, ooh, look at what the fuck they did over there in America to the indigenous and to the African people. Oh man, take notes, Hitler. Write that down. Jesus Christ. So the missiles are headed over to Israel at some point or another. I sincerely doubt that anyone is going to be courageous enough to stop this. And might I say, the Biden administration could take this opportunity to really impress us in terms of maybe, perhaps, being a stand-up kind of guy. Like, you see what the fuck is going on? Do you not, Joe Biden, with your old ass? Ain't you trying to get into heaven? Maybe you should not facilitate the sales of missiles to a nation that you know undoubtedly intends to use them to kill innocent people. Now, how the hell do you think Jesus is going to look at you when you meet him, maybe in the not so distant future? Like, Joe Biden need to be trying to clean up his resume, trying to go see Jesus, old ass. Anyway, and that's not a shot to our mature viewers. Joe Biden, I just dislike him very much. But Joe Biden, you guys, is just continuing in a long policy of how the United States engages with Israel. Like, apparently Israel can't fuck up. Israel really can't do no wrong. Like, even when Israel does wrong, it's not wrong, right? Let me give y'all an example. Well, first of all, where should we start? All right, let's stay in the present. Tunde, can I get B4, please? Now, what are we about to see in B4? This is an indication that Joe Biden is not worried about going to heaven because apparently the members of the United Nations Security Council, of which the United States is a member, have been trying to pass a formal statement condemning the actions of Israel, or rather calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And the UN Security Council has met, I believe, 3 times in the past week. Who is reporting this? Al Jazeera. A third UN Security Council emergency meeting in a week amid the deadly Israeli offensive in Gaza has again ended with no concrete outcome after the United States blocked a joint statement calling for an immediate ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The U.S. can't even fix its crooked mouth and face to even issue a statement formally, like on the record in the international body of note, right? Like, I don't know what, Israel got something on somebody, or maybe lots of somebodies. I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't understand. The United States can't even say that Israel's doing wrong. Like, y'all can't even admit that they wrong. Like, in paper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still going to sell them the missiles, but at least be a proper hypocrite and condemn the actions in a body that literally has very little power, right? What's the UN Security Council going to do about this statement? Not a goddamn thing. It's a parliamentary thing. It's symbolic. That's it. But it's notable because the United States is the only one holding up this statement. Not China, not Russia, not the UK, not France, not none of the other UN Security Council members. Is Canada on the UN Security Council? I think so. Just the US. Because we live in a country that is determined to be morally on the wrong side of every fucking thing at every chance it gets, but still has the hubris and the audacity to wag its finger to talk about human rights at other places. Oh man, I should have pulled, not today, I didn't pull it, but did you guys see that clip? Maybe it was like from a week or two ago of White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki. She was in the press room of the White House, and she said something, was it a statement about Colombia? Anyway, but the clip was Jen Psaki saying that the United States, condemns coups and, usurpations of democracy. And the journalist in the room was like, what, nigga, what? Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Because the United States track record actually indicates that we are most in favor of coups and disruptions of democracy in Latin America. So are you sure? You speaking from the correct podium there, Jen Psaki? We'll find that for next week, actually, because it was funny. I laughed at the shit. So can we go to B3? B3, please. Did y'all give me some information in the chat? Ooh, somebody sent us some money. Who is that? Cassie. What's up, Cassie? Oh, Cassie. That's nice of you, Cassie. Thank you so much. We will take your $10, Cassie. Appreciate it. Thank you, dear. Your boys. Now, do you see that number there? Do y'all see that? That was Obama's parting gift to Netanyahu and the state of Israel on his way out the door. 2016, Israel to get 38 billion. I'm sorry, let me say that again. 38 with a billion. Okay. 38 billion over 10 years in military aid, U.S. officials say. Now, $38 billion, $38 billion, while this country scrimped and coddled together like a very shitty response to a global pandemic, where our medical staff could not have access to proper gear, to proper masks, to ventilation, where Lake Charles, Louisiana is flooded like fuck right now due to climate change. And yet their representatives, I'm talking about the Republican ones in Congress, are pushing against Joe Biden's infrastructure plan. That would help Lake Charles. Like, I mean, my point is, if we got money for Israel, we got money for all the shit that we need right here in America, right? And perhaps if Israel's politics weren't so disastrous, literally, for the Palestinian people, and maybe if Israel was actually poor, maybe like, okay, maybe not 38 billion. Maybe we send them 1 or 2 or 3 billion. But no, Israel doesn't deserve any of this money from us, especially considering that everything about the United States pandemic response has been nickeled and dimed to the American people. But yet we have money, billions and billions of dollars every year to prop up Israel so they can fire missiles at Palestinians who are basically firing off like firecrackers and shit. I mean, come on. At some point, like somebody, and I know this is pretty much a long shot, but my God, like somebody who is not a Washington insider and not beholden to, and hold on, I'm stopping myself because I'm almost describing Trump, right? Except Trump was a fucking Klansman, right? So Klansmen are not going to lead us in the right direction, no chance. But a nigga that's not privy and not like who Israel don't have shit on, right? I mean, I'm just trying to figure this out. Y'all, like, we cannot keep up this farce. Like, we cannot keep propping up Israel as a nuclear armed state and giving them foreign aid when we don't have healthcare here in this country. We don't have universal healthcare. We don't have universal childcare. I'm tired. I'm so tired. Where are we at here in the show? Okie dokie. We're doing pretty all right. Sidebar, everybody. Just a random note. Today is primary day in Pennsylvania. I know ain't nobody gonna show up to vote because it's a primary in May. But I wanted to just make mention of this because I was considering adding this to the rundown and I didn't, just because I actually want to talk to somebody more familiar with Philadelphia politics, who can get into like the sort of nuts and the bolts of Philly politics. But the big race happening on the primary front in Pennsylvania has to do with the Philly District Attorney, Larry Krasner, the progressive that everybody seems to love. Now, I don't think anybody should love a prosecutor. Let me just be very, very clear about that, progressive or no. But I'd be curious, Philly, what Philly thinks about Larry Krasner. So anyway, he's up for re-election. The Fraternal Order of Police in Pennsylvania actually formed a pack to run against him. They don't like him. They don't like his policies. They say he's too tough on cops. And whereas I'm not a resident of Philadelphia. Shout out to Temple University, though. I am a TU alum. Temple Owls are everywhere. But I can't speak as to whether or not Larry Krasner should be reelected. But if the cops don't like him, he must be doing something right. But the only thing, yes, exactly. Duh. I appreciate that. Who said free Mumia? Yes. If Larry Krasner wants to get on the real right side of some shit, yes, he could absolutely intercede to do something to get Mumia Abu-Jamal out of prison. But the one thing that I noticed this week that Larry Krasner did do, or over the past week, I should say, because I think last Thursday was the 36th anniversary of the MOVE bombing in Philadelphia, where the black mayor told the police to drop a bomb on black people in a black neighborhood, killed dozens of people, killed children, displaced hundreds of people, set fire to dozens of homes. Just outstanding representation leadership that, when you vote for a black politician, that's the kind of shit that you hope for, right? Anyway, what Larry Krasner did, I heard last week, the medical examiner. Well, first of all, you all know that there was a big controversy beyond the MOVE. I mean, the MOVE bombing itself, horrific and awful. And shout out to the Africans, to Pam Africa and all the people part of MOVE and who have had to suffer as a result of the targeted persecution by Philly and by Pennsylvania towards MOVE. But was it Princeton, guys? What was the university? I think it was two universities. Was it UPenn and Princeton who were reported to have still had remains of the children killed in the MOVE bombing and just didn't tell nobody, just didn't release the remains back to the families? I mean, horrific. But the medical examiner who was complicit in holding on to some of these remains or not releasing the remains to the family, Larry Krasner fired that nigga. Like once, like I go Google that shit, because you read, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was like, okay, well, once it was raised to his attention, he took action and got rid of that nigga. So score a point for Larry Krasner there. We will be watching to see if he is able to hold on to his seat in this primary. And like I said, the cops are against him, so he must be doing something correct. Guys, so I wanted to, first of all, shout out all 97 people who are watching us today. Thank you all so much. We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate your super chat support and everything. And if you have not yet subscribed to our humble channel, please, I implore you, smash that subscribe button, just smush it, And subscribe to our channel. We are very close to getting 2,000 subs, and yeah, help us. give us some aid. Assist us. Speaking of assistance, even though this has nothing to do with assistance, that's just that's one of my crutch segues. Speaking of sushi. Speaking of baby powder, speaking of, you could just end the inflection. Also, take shafar. Trust me. Try it in your everyday conversations. It shall work. So abortion is an issue I don't talk about very often, although I would hope it would go without saying that I am in 1,000 support of reproductive rights for all women and girls, right? What else do you say beyond that? I am 2,000% pro-choice, okay? Abortion is an interesting topic. For my personal self, I have never had an abortion, and I think the only circumstance in which I would have an abortion at my very advanced age is that if there was some threat to my life, or if it was some fucking nut shit like rape or some shit, right? Like, we ain't doing that. So I can definitely see scenarios in which I would utilize an abortion, right? So I would like for abortion to be like an option, like that should be there for any woman or girl who is not interested or able to carry a pregnancy to term. If you don't want to have a baby, nobody should make you have a baby. Like all these little pussies out here right now who don't want to get the vaccination. That's cool. That's cool. Your body, your choice. But keep that same energy when we're talking about abortion, conservatives. Keep that same energy. My body, my choice. You don't want to get the vaccination? Cool. These motherfuckers don't want to get parented. Okay? Like people who seek out abortions don't want to have babies. And because here we are, our goofy ass election cycle starts a year and a half to 2 years out, right? So here we are pretty much at that 18th month threshold before the 2022 elections, where the House hopes to, the GOP hopes to recapture the House. Whatever. So, Trump did a masterful job of stacking the Supreme Court full of mediocre, unqualified conservatives who are white and Christian and straight, and who seemingly like don't think that being able or being forced to have children that you're not able to financially care for, or perhaps not even emotionally able to care for. Like, what if you know that you are a sociopath, right? Like, but you have the good sense to maybe say, maybe I shouldn't be a parent. I think you should give your kid a fighting chance by not having that little motherfucker, right? Like, please don't bring a child into the world just to make it miserable. But anyway, I digress. I'm sorry. I keep floating. And even though this is a solo sesh day, I did not roll up, but I did smoke a couple J's earlier. I don't think I'm still high. I should have re-rolled up, but I didn't. But back to the abortion, guys. So abortion is back on the table. The Supreme Court has decided to hear the case of a Mississippi abortion law, which stops abortions after 15 weeks, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of rape or incest. I think the only exception is if there is a threat to the mother's health. And it got me thinking, Mississippi specifically, and if we have any Mississippians in here, I love y'all. And I know y'all got it rough, especially if you're Black in Mississippi. I know Mississippi can be a challenge. I know it's a bastion of Blackness in some places, and it's very, I'm sure, down home. It feels like home in the way that the American South really can only feel like to Black Americans. I guess white Americans feel at home in the South. I don't know. But like, if I'm down South, I feel like I'm home, right? Even though I'm very much from up here. Anyway. Mississippi doesn't do a good job of taking care of its children, period. And Tunde, I'm trying to figure out actually where to start with this. Let's go to C1. Can you pop up C1 for me, please? I found it really wild that Mississippi and its governor and its legislature have taken this extraordinary step of passing this law when there's only one abortion clinic in the whole state. And Mississippi has been very hostile to abortion providers, to places like Planned Parenthood. I mean, like in any place providing abortion services is targeted. So now Mississippi is only down to one abortion clinic, and that is the Jackson Women's Health Organization. And locals refer to it as the Pink House. And I wanted to give you guys a glimpse of what it's like if you are a woman or a girl in search of abortion services or abortion counseling, and you live in the state of Mississippi, and your only option is to go to the only abortion clinic in the whole state. What do you think outside of that women's health clinic? What do y'all think that shit looks like probably on a daily basis? It looks pretty fucking crazy. I found this YouTube channel, a woman by the name of Maureen Holohan. And it's a tiny channel, like she has like 9 subscribers, but I found this video where it was shot in 2019, and it's a mashup, like it's a hypercut of a day. I don't know how typical it is, but a day outside of the Pink House in Jackson, Mississippi's only abortion clinic. Tunde, if we could please take a look at C2, what you guys are going to see is a protest. Not the kind of protest we like, but I was horrified, like, holy shit. Imagine if you were just going to the Jackson Women's Health Organization to get the pill or to get some condoms. You got to deal with this shit trying to walk through the fucking door. Amazing. Today, if we could please roll that clip. This is from Maureen Holohan, everybody. Check this out.
You need to stop doing what you're doing.
Need to repent.
You need to stop partaking in this wickedness. Supporting the murder.
Wicked.
Supporting the murder of innocent young children in the womb. Shame on you people. Shame on you people.
Our God will bring every secret thing in the judgment, whether it be good or evil. You wicked witch.
You are the one.
You wicked witch. You wicked Jezebel.
Stay.
Have you had consultations?
Are y'all going to the clinic? Do you know that this is a baby? Is this somebody pregnant? Do you know that this is a baby, not a clot of cells, that you have other options, that the Lord has plans for all lives?
Are they blocking us in on purpose?
If you have an appointment, please pull forward. Y'all take this if you change your mind. Would love to adopt your baby or help you in any way possible. You want those?
Let them.
Good drop.
Yep, there's a place called Street to get there. There's free.
A week. All right, the next thing is, and the second is like it, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. How many of us are content with our children dying and going to hell? Tell me. I hope nobody, huh? Well, if that's the case, hopefully we're not being so selfish that we're not seeking to train our children in the way.
Don't kill me, Mama. I love you. I love you, Mommy. Jesus loves you, Mommy.
Break the yoke, the anointing of life in Christ Jesus. Lord, you said in your word that the devil comes only to kill, steal, and
Y'all, I watched that video earlier, and just to watch it again, just I am stuck and just like amazed at the polite, semi-polite levels of violence, right? Like, you don't understand that's a baby. It's not just a clump of cells. It's a baby. Yes, bitch. You know it's a baby. And you know what else babies need? Babies need food. Babies need shelter. And you know what babies don't do? Babies don't pay fucking rent. Babies don't buy their own goddamn clothes. Babies do not take themselves to the doctor, okay? Like, I like how easily dismissed, like people just assume that women seeking abortions, are act like they just taking out the trash. Like, no, it is a weighty decision. Like, and I'm saying this as someone who has never had an abortion, and just to even thought of it, having to contemplate possibly ending a pregnancy for whatever the fuck reason, right? I can't imagine. And Rain to Sud, I seen you in the chat, baby. You know exactly where I'm going with this. You know where the fuck I'm going with this. Mississippi got a lot of goddamn nerve. And all of those hypocrites, all of those Christian hypocrites have the audacity to try to shame any person seeking to end their pregnancy in the state of Mississippi, as Rain to Sud so astutely called it, a welfare state. Welfare. All the welfare. Let's go. C3, Tunde. Cool. So the people who post up outside the abortion clinic managed to talk you out of your abortion, and you end up giving birth in Mississippi. Well, I hope the baby lives to see the age of 2, because Mississippi has one of the highest infant mortality rates. In fact, Mississippi fails gloriously in that category, either being the state with the highest rate of infant mortality, or usually hovering in that 1 to 2 to 3 slot, right? Look at that. I mean, it's shameful. Tunde, what's the next one? Not only do children born in the state of Mississippi, babies born in the state of Mississippi, have I think the number it's like 8.8 per 1,000 live births, which apparently is very high. And especially when we factor in Black children in Mississippi, that infant mortality rate goes even higher when you're just explicitly talking about Black children, right? The other thing that Mississippi fails gloriously, C4, Tunde, is that Mississippi's children are more likely to live in high poverty than any other state in the country. According to, I think this is the Annie E. Casey people put this together. Very much in support of MississippiToday.org, by the way. Very, very good publication. Local. Support your local media outlets. Mississippi children more likely to live in poverty than any other state in the union. So why is Mississippi trying to legally force women in its state to bear children in a place where the children are not likely to make it to their 5th birthday or 3rd birthday, where the children are more likely to live in high poverty, where the schooling systems, very poor, public health access, also very poor? Didn't we talk about the birth rate last week? They need more slaves. They can see the coming demographic cliff, and they see it coming. They're not going to have hardly no workers. especially the white women's. Oh man, they're going to start subsidizing white women to have babies. That's coming. That's coming. You probably get $5,000 for a white child, to bear a white child. Maybe $2,500 for a biracial. I'm just fucking around. What'd you say, Tunde? Oh, nigga, I've never seen The Handmaid's Tale. I can't watch it because first of all, during the election, they said when it was unclear whether or not Trump was going to be president again, I was advised to not start watching The Handmaid's Tale. But is that the premise of The Handmaid's Tale? Like white babies go for hire? They selling babies on The Handmaid's Tale?
No, but the shit that they do to women in order to force them to have babies is pretty much where we're at, or where they're trying to push it with all these crazy ass laws. If you see people putting like eyes in the chat, it's like from a saying in The Handmaid's Tale. It's under his eye is a phrase. So.
Oh, I see. Okay. Am I gonna have to watch this shit so I can be in the know? I think so. Fuck it, I'll watch it. River Run, thank you so much for your support, dear. Very much appreciated. So here's the deal. First of all, we know that more restrictive abortion policies only hurt poor women, period, point blank, right? Rich women, wealthy white women especially, will find a way to have that abortion. I grew up in Howard County, Maryland. Trust me, I know. Okay. These wealthy families are not interested in their teenage daughters bringing home these babies as teenagers. So they're too sweet. That is happening. And just another side note, real quick. I remember when Larry Hogan was first running for president, I had a friend I was talking to about him who was from up north. And my friend was like, aren't you worried that Maryland might elect a Republican and might do crazy shit with abortion? I said, first of all, Larry Hogan is crazy. He ain't that goddamn crazy, though. You cannot outlaw abortion in Maryland. Even Republican conservatives don't want to outlaw abortion in Maryland because abortion, it's practical, y'all. Let's be real. And I don't advocate abortion as a form of birth control. Like if you just don't want to wear condoms and don't want to take birth control pill and you got, a punch card at the abortion clinic, like, come on. I mean, yes, that is where I believe personal responsibility does kick in. However, I'm not going to fault you if you've had a couple of abortions over the course of your lifetime because shit happens, right? Shit absolutely happens. And you should have the ability to go have it done in a medical facility, right? Let's not forget, y'all, women in this country, let's just stay in America, because if we expand this out globally, like I said, we'll be here for a while, but women used to die regularly getting abortions, right? Like that's not that long ago. That is less than 100 years ago, where people were still very much getting abortions. But the likelihood that you would die as a result of that abortion was also very high. But just think about how desperate somebody had to be to go risk a back alley abortion, knowing that there's a very good chance that you yourself could die, but people take that risk over bringing a child into a world, into the particular circumstance. Like, just think about that. Like, that's high levels of desperation. And that is where a lot of women are going to be forced into very tough situations where you got to travel out of state to go get this procedure done, right? Now, when we getting back to the Supreme Court, picking up this Mississippi case, the SCOTUS experts are looking at, how this shit is broke down. They done added that bitch ass nigga Kavanaugh, Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch. Who else is on them joints? Thomas, sellout ass, Samuel Alito. So they think that the court has 5 or 6 votes to perhaps overturn Roe v. Wade. But I think that if you think people came out in the streets last summer, and if you think people are out in the streets right now for issues ranging from Palestine to Haiti to Colombia, you should try to fuck with abortion, and incur the wrath of one of America's most dangerous demographics, and that is white women. Because if you piss off the white women are good at getting your ass back. White women are going to research. They are going to apply the resources. They are going to organize, and they are going to be upset. And I'm going to be right there with them like, yep. But I mean, reproductive justice is very much a Black and Indigenous and Latinx issue as well. And because Black women face more maternal mortality rates at astronomical numbers, at astronomical levels, Black women die as a result of either pregnancy or childbirth. So abortion needs to be a total option. That is absolutely a racial justice issue and an economic justice issue, in addition to being a gender rights issue. And basically what this comes down is to, hey, bitches, you better have these babies. Isn't that basically what it comes down to? I mean, it's just the audacity. And I know that there is not going to be an ounce of self-reflection from the overlap of those on the right who are both anti-abortion and anti-vaxxer, right? I'm sure there's a lot of those people who fall into that category, right? They refuse to get the vaccination, or refuse to get the vaccine because you can't tell them what to do with their body. Freedom. At the same time, you can't kill that baby because it's alive. Oh, well, you gonna take care of this life? You got room for this life in your house? Oh, but then you're going to get mad at the kids and the parents when they need government assistance, right? Make it make sense. But that's the thing. When you actually try to pick apart and delve into conservative reasoning, it goes nowhere. It goes nowhere. That's why there's no point of even arguing with them. You can't debate a fool. Try debating a fool. You're going to feel like a fucking fool. You out of that abortion clinic, who apparently didn't have shit else to do but to fuck with people that day, or many a days, trying to gaslight them, intimidate them, guilt them, shame them, have not a shred of like stepping back and looking at the bigger picture. You know what I mean? In a perfect world, I'm sure people would ideally have children all over the place, right? The Pope got mad. Didn't the Pope make a statement a couple years back? He was pissed. Pope said, y'all need to stop babying these pets and have real babies. And everybody said, no, the rent is way too high. Pope Francis is like, fuck is you talking about? My dog chilling. I ain't got to take my dog for no sonograms, no prenatal screening, nothing. Anyway, be watching, y'all, and women and gentlemen, please. I mean, this may be a call to the streets kind of issue, probably later on this year, maybe early next year. I'm not sure when the court will. I mean, they're going to hear it this term, if I understand that correctly. I don't know. Even though I think that there are a bunch of conservative idealists clearly on the court, at some point, though, I do feel like there's pragmatism involved. You're going to see women dying like at ridiculous levels, trying to secure backroom abortions if they are not permitted to leave their own state. And when I say permitted, I mean if they don't have the money, right? Like if you live in Mississippi, you want to procure an abortion. You need a ride, right? You got to get out. You got to get out the state. You got to go somewhere. And I don't think the surrounding states are all that abortion friendly. Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. That could be a couple days drive, right? If you have trying to get to a state that doesn't give you some bullshit fucking 24, 48, 72 hour waiting period. Okay. So you done drove from Mississippi to fuck it. Let's be extra liberal here. Let's say Illinois. Well, actually, Illinois doesn't make you wait. You know what? Y'all know what the fuck I'm going with this. Y'all know where I'm going with this. The birth rate is low in America. Conservatives are determined to force women to have babies. That's not going to end up well. That's not going to end up well. Oh, shit, it's 6:06. I didn't even know. Look at that. Y'all still hung around. Hey, before we say bonsoir et au revoir, I wanted to share some news, gang. Couple things. First thing, our comrade, Chuck Modiano. You guys know Chuck Modiano. Chuck Modiano's been on this program lots of times. He has bigged us up and showed us love and came through and, you know, we did a live hit with Chuck. You guys, good news. Chuck Modiano's Twitter account has been reinstated as of yesterday. Chuck had his account suspended at some point last week. And you know what? I chatted with him briefly and I didn't even ask him, like, why did they suspend your account? What reasons were given? But I guess at this point, perhaps it doesn't matter because Chuck got his shit restored. And honestly, like if you go to Chuck's Twitter page and go to the media portion of his account, honestly, like hours and hours and hours of outstanding footage that Chuck has documented, amazing street interviews with protesters, and capturing all kinds of scenes from all kinds of actions. Like Chuck be out there in DC. What'd you say? Who said something? Yes. Anna Hart says we are with you, Kim, until the end. Chuck, yes. Yeah, Chuck is back. He's back. He is back. Look at that. Look at Chuck smiling, well, unsmiling face in his profile. So we want to thank our comrade, friend of the show, Chuck Modiano, for doing all that he does. And we're very, very, very happy that the powers that be at Twitter recognized clearly the error of their ways and restored Chuck's wonderful, wonderful Twitter account. And also going back to last week, like when I hit Chuck up, I'm like, yo, I said, Sally and the Sally, because I need to be able to contact you if either one, if anybody gets shut down again in the future, which seeming like is at least a possibility given the climate of cracking down on leftists. It would seem. Did somebody just drop us some more coin here? Who was that? River Run, did I already thank you, dear? I meant to say thank you if I did not. So congratulations to Chuck Modiano. His account has been restored. Also, gang, Friday, set your calendars because we are going to, oh man, Molly, I just saw your message. Hold on. Real quick, Friday, we're going to do the AMA. For May's Ask Me Anything is going to be this Friday. So we're going to put a post up on Patreon. Maybe we'll put one up on YouTube as well. Just another place to field questions. So if you have any questions, now's the time. Or Friday will be the time. And I'll be answering all your questions. But I believe that we are going to call it a night or a day or evening. It is rather beautiful here in the DMV. It's about 80 degrees. I hope you guys are somewhere being safe. We are going to always, please keep Palestine first and foremost, or front in your hearts, but also think about people in Haiti and Colombia too. And I apologize for not making any comment about what's happening in Colombia. But again, you guys know, I'm not going to speak on shit that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? I wish there are others in this space and in media who would exercise the same sort of restraint. But no, I'm interested in what's going on in Colombia, and we will find out what's going on in Colombia, and we will have someone on here to speak about what is happening in Colombia. It seems as though Black Colombians are bearing the brunt of whatever massive crackdown that is happening amongst people in Colombia. So anyway, guys. Oh, and I just remembered. Friday. We're going to see if we can get somebody from North Carolina. Courtney, who's in North Cac? I know we got some North Cac people. The announcement today, shortly before we went live on the air, that the prosecutors in Elizabeth City have decided that they are not. Well, I would assume that they are not going to pursue charges against the officers involved in Andrew Brown's shooting, right? Because the DA made the announcement that the shooting was justified. Huh? Oh, they had a whole month to get their story straight. Oh, that's why nobody could see the video for over 3 weeks. Y'all had to piece together your narrative with scotch tape and crazy glue to pull off some bullshit. Who should we talk to in North Carolina? Because I need to look at a map. I don't know where Elizabeth City is in proximity to other areas of the state. So I don't know if we reach out to Durham folks, Raleigh folks, or are there Elizabeth City specific people, which I'm pretty sure there are. So anyway, I would like to explore that on Friday if we can. Hopefully we could try to get somebody on, but if we can't, we will highlight this injustice to another Black person shot and killed, unarmed. They tried to say his car was the vehicle. Jesus Christ. So I guess Black people, niggas can never get in cars ever again, right? I mean, my God, just driving to work. You wielding a deadly weapon. Like, what the fuck? Furious about that. I'm so mad. What's up, Ursula? Mondale might know. Good point there, Liu Kang. Mondale might know. Mondale will probably definitely know, actually. Good look. Good suggestion there. Anyway, guys, we're going to call it a night. So I will see y'all, Negroes and non-Negroes, on Friday. Don't forget, subscribe, like, share, all those sexy things. And I appreciate, seriously, all that you do. Who just dropped us some dough? Did I just thank Nick? Nick, I smoke a lot of weed. Did I thank you already? I'm very sorry if I'm thanking you twice or if I didn't thank you the first time. But Nick, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. Guys, love yous. Love yous, love yous. AMA Friday and all the other cool shit. So I'll see y'all on Friday. Y'all are the fucking best. Yo, fuck.